I don't know what that one's doing, but we're going to continue the Polynomials packet. Okay, on this first page here, you're just going to have a little bit of review practice for combining like terms, putting into standard form, and adding and subtracting polynomials. I do just want to do one of these subtracting polynomials to explain to you that it's almost like multiplying polynomials, which is what we're going to be doing next. Because when we're subtracting, initially, or technically, what we're doing is distributing a -1 to every term behind it. In other words, we multiply everything by -1. So when we do that, -1 times x squared will give us negative x squared. -1 times 4x will become -4x. And -1 times +1 is -1. So you bring down the rest, and then we're simply going to combine like terms. So now, combining like terms, we don't change exponents. We only combine the ones that have the same exponent. So here we have an x squared, and here we have an x squared. So if we combine those two, we're going to get 6x squareds. And over here, this one has 1x, and this one has 1x. So we can combine those and get a -2x. And then a +1 and a -1 are going to cancel out. So this is what we're left with. So the important thing to remember is that when you are adding and subtracting polynomials, your exponents don't change. They stay the same. You only combine the ones that are the same. You're making a lot of noise over there. A lot of noise. What are you doing? All right, I'm going to turn the page and go on to some multiplying now. Okay, so the thing to remember with multiplying is that when you multiply the coefficients, but you add the exponents. So in this case, 5 times 2 is 10. There's 2 x's here and 3 here, so when we add those, it becomes x to the 5th. Now let me just briefly explain that to you. 5x squared technically means 5 times x times x. And 2x to the 3rd means 2 times x times x times x, 3 times. So when you put this all together, 5 times 2 gives you 10, and you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's, and that's how you get the x to the 5th. Okay, so that's just adding. Over here, we would be distributing because it has parentheses and there's multiple variables. So in this case, -4 times 9 is -36. There's 1x here and 2 here, so that's going to be x to the 3rd. 1y here, 1y here, that gives you y squared. In a case like this, don't get scared, just keep multiplying. 7 times -2 is going to be -14 times -4 will end up being +56. And then just add your exponents again. So there's 1x here, 2 here, and 5 here. That gives me 8 x's altogether. And I have 2 y's here, none here, 1 there, so that's y to the 3rd. 1 z and 3 z's, none here, will give me z to the 4th. And that's it, you're done. Okay, over here is a bunch of practice for multiplying monomials times polynomials. And this is where you have to distribute to multiple things. So if I take this one here, this means I have to multiply x squared to both of these items. So first I'll do it to the first one. If there's no number in front of an x squared, you know it's a 1. So 1 times 4 is 4. 2 x's here and 2 x's here, so that'll end up with x to the 4th. And again, 1 times 3 is 3. There's no x's on this one, just a 2 there, so they stay the same. And we're done. We can't combine these because they don't have like terms, meaning the same exponents. Okay, I'm also going to jump down to over here. This might look like a minus problem, but because there is parentheses here, that's technically saying that you're multiplying -1 times what's inside. So you have to distribute a -1. 8 comes down. Crash Bandicoot, take it easy. What are you doing? What are you doing? You having fun? Oh, you lost one of your cups over there. All the toys in the world, and this kid just wants cups. Anyway, as we were, 8 comes down, can't do anything with that. And then we distribute -1 times 3 is going to be -3, only one n there. And -1 times -8 is +8. And now we can combine like terms because these two 8s don't have any variables. So you end up with negative 3n plus 16. Now, mind you, I put the n first because that's standard form. You always want your variables first. All right, so that's multiplying a monomial times a polynomial. Try some and get to work.